Listen. In the dead of night, every house makes a noise. A floorboard creaks. The wind rattles a window frame. You know those sounds. You ignore them. But what if you hear a new sound? A sound from outside, getting closer. It's not human. It's not the bark of a dog. It's a series of whoops that rise and fall, a sound that seems to laugh. And then you hear another sound, the scraping of claws on your own door. In that moment, the thin wall that separates your world from the wild becomes meaningless. What you're about to hear is not a campfire story. It's the terrifying true account of a night when one of Africa's most misunderstood predators came inside. This event exposed a horrifying truth about an animal we thought we knew. So hit that subscribe button, because this is a side of nature the documentaries rarely show you. And stay with us to the very end to understand the chilling reason why this attack was not random and why it could happen again. Tanzania. The name itself conjures images of epic scale. The vast, sun-baked plains of the Serengeti. Herds of wildebeest stretching to the horizon. Majestic lions resting under acacia trees. It's the cradle of life, a place where the raw, unfiltered drama of the natural world plays out every single day. But for millions of people, this isn't a safari park they visit, it's their backyard. They live on the edges of these great wildernesses, in small villages woven into the fabric of the landscape. They live by the rhythm of the sun and the seasons, coexisting with animals that we only see behind glass. It's a life of profound beauty, but also of constant, simmering danger. A life where the line between human and animal territory is drawn in the red dust and often blurs after sunset. This story takes place in one such village, a small community not far from the Serengeti ecosystem. It's the home of the Shubi family, a mother, a father, and their 4 young children. Their home is a simple, traditional mud brick hut, known as a boma. It's humble, but it's their sanctuary. It's the place where they cook, laugh, tell stories, and at the end of the day, feel safe from the things that roam in the dark. One of those things is the spotted hyena. Now, we need to talk about the hyena for a minute. Thanks to movies like The Lion King, most of the world sees them as cowardly, cackling, bone-stealing scavengers. That perception is dangerously wrong. It's a myth. The reality is that the spotted hyena is one of the most formidable and successful predators on the African continent. They are not dogs. They are in a biological family all their own. They are incredibly intelligent, with social structures as complex as those of primates, and they are brutally powerful. A hyena's jaw is a biological vice grip, capable of exerting over 1,100 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's enough to crush the femur of a giraffe. They are not just scavengers, they are expert hunters, often taking down prey much larger than themselves through relentless, coordinated pack attacks. And their signature laugh is not a sign of amusement. It's a complex vocalization used to express excitement, distress, or submission. The sound you really need to fear is the whoop. It's the sound they use to communicate across vast distances, to rally the clan. On this particular night, the air in the Shubi family's village was thick with the chorus of the African dark, the familiar sounds of crickets and distant insects. But as the family slept, a new sound joined the chorus. Faint at first, the long, drawn-out whoop of a hyena. Then another, closer this time. The clan was on the move, and they were heading straight for the village. Inside the boma, Shukuru, the mother, was the first to stir. A mother's instinct is a powerful thing, a primal alarm system. Something just felt wrong. The night felt heavier, quieter. The usual village sounds, a restless goat, a neighbor's cough, were gone, replaced by a tense silence. She lay there in the darkness, listening, her children sleeping peacefully around her. That's when she heard it. A snuffling, wet sound right outside the flimsy wooden door. Then a scratch. Then another, more forceful one. Panic, cold and sharp, seized her. The door was latched, but it was no match for a determined predator. With a sudden crack, the wood splintered. A dark shape, low to the ground, pushed its way into the single-room hut. The smell hit her first, a musky, gamey stench of pure carnivore. In the pitch black, a nightmare unfolded. The creature wasn't silent. It moved with a terrifying confidence, its claws clicking on the hard-packed earth floor. It was hunting by sound and smell. Shukuru heard one of her children let out a small, sleepy cry, and the dark shape immediately moved towards the sound. What happened next was an act of pure, visceral maternal courage. Shukuru didn't scream for help. She didn't freeze. She launched herself out of her bed, straight at the intruder. She couldn't see it, but she could feel it, a body of coarse fur and solid muscle. She grabbed onto it, pulling, screaming, trying to put herself between the animal and her children. The hyena, surprised by the resistance, turned on her. She felt a searing, unbelievable pain as its powerful jaws clamped down on her arm. But she didn't let go. Her husband, awakened by the commotion, joined the fight, shouting into the darkness, kicking at the unseen beast. The hut was filled with the sounds of chaos, of human screams and the low guttural growls of the hyena. It was a primal battle, fought by touch and sound in the suffocating darkness of their invaded home. The noise finally alerted their neighbors. Torches were lit and people came running, shouting, banging pots and pans. Faced with the sudden arrival of light and overwhelming numbers, the hyena did what opportunistic predators do. It released Shukuru, scrambled back through the broken door, and vanished into the night as quickly as it had appeared. Silence descended, broken only by the whimpering of the terrified children and Shukuru's cries of pain. When the light from the torches flooded the room, the scene was horrifying. Shukuru was bleeding heavily from her arm and face, but the real tragedy lay where her 1-year-old son had been sleeping. He had been mauled in the initial moments of the attack. The event shocked the entire region. This wasn't a case of a person stumbling upon a predator in the wild. This was a home invasion. The hyena hadn't just been passing by, it had deliberately targeted a human dwelling. The question that echoed through the village and among wildlife officials was the same. Why? The investigation revealed a deeply troubling reality. This wasn't a random freak event. It was the predictable result of a changing world. The region had been suffering from a prolonged drought. Natural prey like zebra and wildebeest were scarce, their populations having moved on in search of better grazing. This put immense pressure on predator populations. The hyenas were starving. Desperate animals do desperate things. They become bolder. They started encroaching on human settlements, drawn by the smell of livestock like goats and chickens, or even just scraps of food. Over time, they began to lose their innate fear of humans. People became just another part of the landscape. A village was no longer a fortress of danger to be avoided, but a potential buffet. This process is called habituation, and it's a death sentence for both wildlife and people. Tragically, experts noted that hyenas in these situations often target the most vulnerable, children and sleeping women. The attack on the Shubi family was a textbook example of this horrifying behavioral shift. The hyena wasn't a monster. It was a starving animal acting on instinct in a world where its natural food source had disappeared. The story of the Shubi family is a brutal lesson in the realities of human-wildlife conflict. It serves as a stark reminder that these incredible animals are not characters in a film. They are wild, powerful, and driven by the unforgiving laws of survival. As human populations expand and climate change alters landscapes, these desperate, violent encounters are becoming tragically more common. For Shukuru and her family, the sounds of the night would never be the same. The gentle lullaby of the Serengeti had become a warning, a reminder that sometimes the wall between our world and the wild is terrifyingly thin. If this story gave you a new perspective on the animals we share this planet with, hit that like button. And for more unforgettable true stories from the edge of the wild, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching.